Hi guys, so today I'm going to be talking about my first tattoo. I still can't comprehend the fact that I actually have one. You make me want to testify. So we're going to talk about my experience, where I got it, why I got it, pain, and all that stuff, just like the average YouTuber does when they make videos discussing their tattoos. I will show it to you. I will do some close-ups and some other little clips that I took while I was at the tattoo shop and pictures. But this is it, and it's healing right now. It actually looks pretty fully healed, and it's an anchor. I was originally going to vlog this experience, but I was very nervous to film, especially like if the artist didn't want me to. I'd never gone to this shop before, clearly. I just thought that maybe it would distract me and make the experience a little harder for me, but I do plan to vlog more in the future of me getting tattoos. So yes, this is not the only tattoo I will be getting. I was a walk-in. I did not have an appointment. I'd never been in the shop before, like I said, and it was just kind of something that I'd wanted for a very long time. When I was 13, I started to get into music, I guess, that a lot of the artists and singers had tattoos. So that's when I was kind of exposed to tattoos and learning more about them and getting interested in them. Not to mention, around the time I was like 8 to 13 is when a lot of people in my family started to get some tattoos of their own. Granted, I don't have anyone in my family that has like a full sleeve or like necessarily any visible tattoos, but members of my family do have tattoos. I started to get into them, I started to look at them, and I saw all these really tiny, dainty tattoos. They were like about this big. And I wanted an anchor, and I just thought like, oh, that's such a good idea. I want an anchor. And it didn't really have any meaning back then when I wanted it, but here I am 5 years later and I did get it. If you guys can clearly tell, it is not the size that I originally wanted. I went into the shop still wanting that little tiny tattoo, but after them explaining some things to me and them basically telling me they would not give me that size, I got this because I was not going to leave the shop without a tattoo. I did like the placement and I did agree to the size. I was just more nervous that my mom would have been not for it because it was a lot bigger than what I told her I was getting. And she said, no, that's fine. So I got that tattoo. And I'm actually really, really happy that I got it that big because now the other tattoo that I want works perfectly with it, which I will explain in a little bit. The reason why they refused to give me it that size was because it was about the height of a quarter, about the size of a quarter, honestly, was because as I age, our skin stretches, it gets thinner, and it grows with us, and especially getting it where I wanted it to be right here on me, like all of those pictures have the one right here. And our skin on our feet exfoliates, it falls off, it gets dead, and it would just cause for a really hard healing process, not to mention wearing socks and shoes and not being able to wear like sandals in this kind of weather. It's very hard to heal it down there. If I got it about that size, it would eventually turn into like a blurred ball, and a lot of people that I have talked to that are friends that have tattoos have said when I would explain what I wanted, most of my friends told me that they would end up making me go bigger because most artists won't do that. You see a lot of YouTubers or people on YouTube who have these tiny dainty tattoos, and it's because they go to people who, I'm not saying that aren't professional, but I guess they don't warn them as to what can happen, or maybe they know and they still want them, which is completely fine by them, but I didn't want a ball on me, and not to mention even if I did, she wasn't going to give it to me. So I really like it, I really love it, and it does have a little more meaning now. About a year and a half to 2 years ago is when I started making videos on this channel, and if you've been around for a while, I used to have this intro. And there's an anchor in that intro, and everything that I did had a little watermark in it that had that anchor symbol and my name. I've been on YouTube for 10 years now, believe it or not. I started when I was very young. I had an old channel that some of you guys are actually from, so thank you for following me on here. You're crazy. I can't believe that you recognize me from those videos, but I'll do a separate video talking about my YouTube past, but this is like my third channel and I've stuck with it for the longest time and I've gained the most support off of it, and I'm filming videos that I love and can see myself filming for many years in the future. And the anchor basically represents when I started making videos that I was really passionate about and could see a future with, versus like my past YouTube channels. I made a lot of videos that I knew weren't going to be permanent. I would never continue making videos like them as I get older, but with this channel it just represents me sort of finding my groove on YouTube and discovering what sort of content I wanted to make, because I really do enjoy YouTube. Like I said, 10 years of it, and I just want to keep making videos. And so even if, you know, like when I'm old and gray, I am not on YouTube, YouTube will always be on me. So that's kind of what the meaning of the anchor is. My future plans are, I'm a Pisces, so my symbol is the 2 fish, and I originally wanted a little tiny fish tattoo, which I'm clearly not going to get because it's tiny once again, and it was just going to represent my grandpa and my uncle who have passed away. But since I am a Pisces and that has 2 fish, each person can have their own fish. And what I'm going to do is get the Pisces symbol put around this anchor, which I'm not quite sure how it's going to be done. I haven't really thought about it. But basically, I just want 1 fish wrapped around this way and 1 fish wrapped around this way. And it'll probably wrap around my foot a little bit. So when you look at it like this, I'd have to twist it to show you the rest of the fish because of how thin my leg is. I don't really want to talk about that. That is my future plans for the anchor, and the anchor just symbolizes me, whereas the 2 fish again represent my uncle and my grandpa. And I will talk more about that when I get that tattoo and do a video on it. As far as pain goes, getting the tattoo itself, that's it. And he was like, yeah. And I was just so shocked. I watched CTFXC and Charles described tattoos as a cat scratch on sunburn. So I remember making that reference before I got my tattoo, and the tattoo artist laughed at me and was just like, I wouldn't say it's that bad, and it genuinely was not that bad at all. Didn't feel good, but it was really, really tolerable, and this tattoo took 10 minutes. I genuinely really love it, and I like where it's placed, and I can't wait to add more to it, as I've said previously. The healing process hurts a lot worse. If I was to describe the healing, I had a lot of burning, and it was really hot, which they told me is normal, but I don't really hear many people on YouTube talking about the healing process, so maybe they have other ways and technique. But to describe the pain there, it felt like I went out in the sun, got sunburn, and then decided to like slide onto my carpet and get rug burn over it. It was so atrocious. That was the probably next 20 hours after it got done, and now it's completely bearable. It doesn't really hurt at all, and it's not red anymore or swollen, it's just scabbing. So the pain of getting the tattoo itself, I would say, was like a 2 or 3 out of 10, and I'm told that's a very sensitive area, and the part that hurt the worst was the stalk. I always call it the stalk, I don't know what the actual term is, but the neck of the anchor, because it's directly on my bone. That part probably hurt the worst, so that's why I would give it a 3 out of 10. And as far as the healing process, I would probably give it like a 6 out of 10, just because I've never been exposed to something like that, and it just genuinely felt like rug burn or sunburn, and that is so painful for me. If you'd like me to vlog my next tattoo, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll do that when I get it done. I love you all, and I'll see you again soon. Peace out, Girl Scouts.